Hello everybody, welcome to me playing DarkStar One. I've been doing this game a little bit earlier with a different kind of mod, but unfortunately that one kept crashing every half an hour or every time I was entering a space station, so I decided to abandon that game. Instead I've changed to a new mod called Versteckte Klooster, which is actually a mod that's been worked on for the past 12 plus years. This mod adds some new content. It has some increased difficulty in ship combat, and it has, well, a lot of German text actually. I will try to translate those in English for as much as I'm able to. I won't always be able to, because frankly speaking my knowledge of the German language is a little bit rusty after not being using it for over 35-ish years. So let's just see what this game offers me. Well, I know what it offers me because I've been test playing a little bit. You maybe know what it offers you if you've played this mod, or you may know what it offers you if you played DarkStar One before. For those who don't, here we go.
Great. Why do we have to drop out of hyperspace here of all places?
Be glad we landed in an uninhabited system. At least there aren't any patrols here to bother us.
And? Can you get the drive going again?
Patience. Think about our cargo. If I fire the impulse drive too hard now, it'll knock our socks off.
We shouldn't have stolen the containers. The stuff is too dangerous.
Wait up! What's that? I don't think we're alone.
Could be some sort of hyperspace gate.
Just much bigger. They're coming straight at us.
I've never seen ships like that.
Hey, what are they doing? Ah!
My problem, I'll handle it. Chiron. Good that you're here.
Hi, Robert. Is it okay?
No problem. Come in.
Hey, did you see that ship that just came in? Man, what a machine. I wish someday I could...
Yes, I saw it.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, of course, I did. Simrob Security Services congratulates you on completing your training. You have shown extraordinary talent, and you now have the privilege of calling yourself an escort pilot with pride. At ease. Your father would be proud of you, Kieran.
Yeah, I wish he were here.
Me too, believe me. Well. Look here. This is one of the first models of the new DarkStar, a technically advanced long-range fighter.
That was the ship.
It's the best ship in the whole sector.
Wow.
The DarkStar has an intelligent upgrade system which can integrate equipment from any technological base into the ship's systems. Besides that, you're literally able to expand your ship when you have enough experience. Weapon mounts, improved hull, stronger engines. Everything can be upgraded, yeah. However you like.
Amazing.
Your father wanted you to have the ship when you'd finished your training. I have had you released from all other assignments, so use the time to do the training sessions and become familiar with the ship.
When can I get started?
As far as I'm concerned, right now. You can access the missions from the terminals. Hey, but you know how that works. And don't scratch the paint, do you hear?
I'll try my best.
So, we learned a little bit, a very little bit, about one of the main characters. We learned a little bit about the ship, and as you can see, there's actually some more information here. Not that much. Now we have two flashing buttons. First of all, my logbook, and that one shows what we just saw about the new ship. We got some emails and other stuff. First of all, main storyline, which once again tells me everything we already knew. Some useful information.
Latest news. The increased energy consumption of the last few days has caused increasing prices for research materials.
And we got some German information here, which says that there is a bonus mission available as soon as we have 4 of the 5 training missions finished completely. Those are Training 1 Basics, Training 2 Advanced Fighting, Training 3 Cargo Transport, and after that Missing Documentation, I think the right translation is, and sorry for that. Something about recruits. Also, the ship shouldn't be upgraded beyond it shouldn't
Business
be
in
at
brief.
a higher
Due to
level
delivery
as level
problems,
1.
shortages of mining products have occurred.
Moreover, the rest of it is telling us that this mod is created by SNF, which is Clan Tech, most likely Norbert, for the Supernature Forum, and there's some information about packs and anything else, so it'll be only one. That's part. Next part, status, telling us the level of the ship, how many artifacts we have discovered and how many we need for the next level. Liberated system destroyed, fighters, pirates, cruisers, etc. A criminal record, which may be occasionally very important when we have to enter a system and you are wanted. Criminal records can be obtained, so to call, by well, of course, becoming a criminal, like being a smuggler, smuggling items into
Attention ground
a
personnel.
station,
Incoming
shooting
600-ton
down
cargo
police
vessel.
or military, or even things like piracy. So the GU is Galactic Union, neutral factions, and we have rebel factions. So we could actually sort of split which faction we want to be very nicely to, and which factions we say, you know what, I got two nice middle fingers, look at those, and I become a criminal in your faction systems. Then, next button in the middle, the medal, it's our reputation. Reputation is based upon actions, and the further we move out to the outside, the more influence our reputation will have. Like, if I trade a lot and eventually I get outside the circle, outside the red marker here, in the merchant section, merchants will most likely offer me a lot more favorable prices for my goods, while at the same time the prices they demand me to pay are also more favorable to me. Mercenary and bounty hunter most likely means that the more I move out to the outside, the better my rewards. Pirate, killer and smuggler, well, I've never been that much on those three paths. Well, smuggler okay, but pirate and killer most certainly not. So I assume, and it's most likely the right assumption, but I assume that the more my reputation moves to the outside, the more I'm going to be sought after, which means more encounters with police and military and things like that. I have no intention to try that actually, but chances are occasionally I will move a little bit into those three areas, especially smuggler, but there's a reason for that. Here we have our ship inventory. First of all, weapons, and it shows I got one.
Attention all cargo ship pilots. Remain in position. The cargo docks are currently overbooked.
I got one Class 1 laser equipped at my ship at the moment. One laser, that's it. So even with a fire rate of 4 per second, it's not much. I don't have turrets, I don't have missiles. My energy provides me, and energy is in general my engines, an afterburner, a capacitor, and capacitor is meant to divert energy to my weapons. It's basically the battery for weapons. My weapons are fed from the capacitor, so the better capacitor, the easier it will be to fire my weapons. We have one cargo computer, X50, and it has one drone. It can pull 50 tons in total. That's it. So with the drone I'm able to tow one container
Attention
of
all
50
cargo
tons,
ship pilots.
nothing
Remain
else.
in position. The cargo docks are currently overbooked.
A cargo scanner, well, what does it do? It scans cargo. No kidding, it does. I can use this one as soon as I'm close to the range of one unit to scan containers, but even ships. So if I for instance want to become a pirate, I can move over to a cargo ship, and within one unit I can scan the ship and its cargo containers and know what it's actually having. If I'm thinking, hey, one of those containers got some nice stuff that I need in this area, so let's grab it. I will check the ship until it ejects
Prices for
containers,
research materials.
pick the one I want, etc, etc. Energy shields, it's shielding my ship. Yay, another very obvious one. sorry. And as we keep saying in my country, I will remain kicking open the open doors yet. Can't help it. But it is something important. It will protect me from weapons from other ships. And maybe even some collision. So it's a class 1 shield, but it is useful. Field drive or hyperdrive. This one is able to transport me at a maximum distance of 2.5 ly, which stands for light years. It will need to recharge at some point. I can upgrade these, which is the reason why you don't see the class notification behind it, because it doesn't matter what energy class my ship is using. I can upgrade the field drive when the mission, the story requires it. And finally, generator. It's what generates the energy needed for powering the weapons and my shields. All of this can be upgraded, but only if I'm able to get a higher energy class. And finally, equipment. Very easy, there's nothing there yet. So that's point 1. Here we got the same thing again when I click at the turret. Next, we got my money. I don't have much yet with 1000 credits, but I will increase that over time by doing missions, by doing some trading, by bounty hunting, and maybe if I'm lucky, I'm getting rich enough to actually end up with all kind of
Due to yesterday's
knives.
disaster at the chemical factory, production has come to a
That
virtual
will most likely
standstill.
be at the end of the game. The next flashing symbol is the world map, or in this case a star map. It shows the cluster I'm currently in, which is called La Lande. There is one system with this rotating cross, which is called Penka, which is the system I'm in. There is one system available, which is the Yari system, and both systems have several symbols which I can't yes I can, I'm sorry, which shows what this system is producing, while we have here in the small red rectangular areas ships, items we can't have here, forbidden wares. The only way to get them is to smuggle them, which is why I said before, sometimes I will have to increase my smuggling reputation. So in Penka we got the top row, which are machinery, medicine, spirits, fertilizer and computer games. In La Lande, sorry if I forget something, and what isn't allowed in Penka are drugs and androids. In La Lande we got I think it's carbohydrates or carbon fibers, animals, precious metals and superconductors, I think it was, while androids and luxury goods aren't allowed. We also see a small bar up here with several colors, including in the center yellow, and that means the difficulty of the system in general. Everything else with the question mark, we know the names of those systems, but we don't know anything else. And this system, the WHO system, is having this nice green, I can't even select it, nice green symbol, and that symbol will be important because it means that there's an artifact there. more about that later. Right now we are in the paint car system, and that's where we're going to stay for a while.
Attention ground personnel. Incoming 600
The
ton
last
cargo
symbol
vessel.
is this nice something looking like a pitchfork or a tool or whatever, and it's in general my escape option, having the load save, main menu, the options, quit game, which will put me directly out of it to my desktop and continue. So, what do we have on the right? First of all, leave. It makes me leave this station. I won't click that yet. Equipment, and yes, there it is again, back to the ship what I have. Weapon class, Laser Mark 1, class 1, and a cost of 8,000 credits, so I'm just a little 7,000 short, okay. I could also buy a missile launcher if I want to. Downside of missile launchers, they need some time for aiming and they're not my favorite weapon, although occasionally when you have to deal with the largest ships, they can be useful. And of course Laser Mark II and Missile Launcher Mark II, but those are class 2 weapons. I'm not even at class 2, weapon class 2, so there's no need to. Similar, we got laser turrets and the second class laser turrets Mark II. No need for me to buy those because I can't even equip them at the moment. Down here in the center we got missiles. First of all, Swarm, which are the unguided missiles, which are more or less like a swarm. You hit the button and everything else is launched at once. They got 120
Please note that on the
MI
station,
damage.
the possession or the consumption of alcohol is a punishable
I have no
offense.
idea what that means. And for that you got 6 warheads. I don't know if it's the 120 each or 120 combined though. So I have to figure that out as soon as class 2. I can't even figure that 132, that's 12, so most likely combined. Another class 2 missile we could buy at some point are Hellfires. Hellfires are guided missiles.
Please note that the sale of
have
androids
a
on
lower
the station
speed.
is illegal.
Are more agile and do more damage. But yeah, the lower speeds will make them a little bit more vulnerable. All of those missiles are not really useful when you're fighting fighter craft. Bigger ships, yes, they are useful, but you will need multiple to actually destroy that ship. But for fighter craft, no. And another disadvantage, I will need multiple of those. And I think when clicking the launchers, we actually see that I can fire with this missile launcher 1 missile per second, and I have a maximum of 5 missiles aboard. For the Mark II I actually have 8 missiles, but still the same fire rate, so I could carry 8 Hellfire missiles or 8 times 6 Swarm missiles. It's a choice, but it's not my favorite kind of weapon. Then we got the energy, and in general we see the same thing we've seen before, but upgraded. A level 2 afterburner, a level 2 capacitor, an X100 cargo computer, which has 2 drones, and means you can tow 2 containers of maximum 50 tons, totaling 100. It's useful.
Attention, Local weather
later
stations
I
are
will get
reporting that
better
intense
cargo
sun
computers
protuberances may
and
lead
being
to a
able
further
to tow
shortage of
more
proteins.
in total, but if I'm not mistaken, the amount of drones is always 2. Unless I'm towing 2 containers and I'm actually able to pick up something from a boss fight or a mini boss fight. The cargo scanner has a slightly increased range of 1 unit, so we're over to 2, and everything else is familiar. Slower recharge time on the energy shield compared to my ship, but more able to actually hold. So, and the generator is gaining 28% compared to the Mark 1. Last, the equipment, which will be useful, and I'm going to use stuff from here. Not only because it's useful, but also because it can save my life. Is that useful? Well, saving your life could be useful, but
of the Trinitas pest
I
has
think
had
you
a
get the
significant
point.
impact on the breeding of life
First of all,
forms.
activate a refill. It will give me a one-time boost of my field drive or hyperdrive. So if I want to move from one system to another quickly to get to number 3, I simply use, if I have it equipped, simply use this one. My field drive is immediately filled and I can do another hyper jump. That's how it works. After that, though, I have to wait
Please
for
note
my
that on the
hyperdrive
station, the possession or the consumption of alcohol
to
is
refill,
a punishable
and
offense.
I have to buy another activated refill if I want to do the same thing again. Afterburner booster. Once again, a single-use item, but the afterburner is having a nice 200% boost. So for 16 seconds I got extra afterburner, and when you want to escape a lot of police ships following you, this one is very useful. When your afterburner runs out,
Please note
select,
that the sale
click,
of
and
androids
you
on
got
this station
another one
is
going.
illegal.
Energy collector, increasing the recharge rate of the field drive. It means the drive is going to fill up faster, 20% compared to one having it not. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it isn't. I'm more of the patient guy. I don't really mind waiting for a moment to have my field drive charging, but yeah, it can help. Energy flux. With this one I can, as its description said, move weapons, transfer energy from my weapon to my shields. If I'm in a fight and I notice my shields are actually getting depleted while my weapons aren't draining the energy, I could use this device to move energy from my weapons to my energy shield. Shield energy, making sure that my shields are charged faster, giving me more protection. Downside, with less energy to my weapons, I'm doing less damage. So I may not be killed earlier, but it will take me longer to kill things. There's a trade-off. Jammer. It's
Business in brief. The
Jammer
subcontractors
that
for the dockyards are currently
works
booked
the
up.
moment
This has
the
already led
police
to price
flies
increases.
near me and wants to scan me and my goods to see if I'm smuggling anything. It's an auto start piece of equipment, so there's nothing I have to do, fortunately, but it doesn't always work. If it does, nice, because I can continue my flight and enter the space station without a problem. If it doesn't, I have to hit the afterburner and get as fast as I can to either the station or out of the system. So the jammer certainly is a piece of equipment you want to have, because nobody wants to be marked as a criminal because he or she is smuggling something. The landing computer, it's the item you can use to land on a station, and it makes the game a lot easier. Since I don't have it yet, I will have to use the procedure for setup for the game, which is hailing space station, asking permission to land, getting queue, enter the station. Fortunately, you can skip the queue and get in first, but still, it takes some time. Landing computer, open up the screen, select landing computer, and everything turns into a cutscene. Done. You're landed, and we end up with the view of the space station we see moving around over here. Repair bots. Another very useful item because it does what it says. It repairs your ship. Up to 60%.
Please note that on this station, the possession or the consumption of alcohol is a punishable offense.
You're in a fight. The fight is finished, and you got a bunch of pirates approaching you again while your hull is down to 42%. You can try to run. You have your shields coming back up, so that's not a problem, but sooner or later, you know, my shields maybe run out again, and with this low hull I'm going to lose the fight. You have a repair board equipped. You activate it and your hull is back to 60%.
The increased energy consumption of the last few days has caused increasing prices for
or
research
actually
materials.
100% depending on how far down it was. And after that you survive the fight, land at the station and buy a new repair board. So in my opinion, very useful. Shield flux. It's the device you need to transfer energy from front to back. If you're the kind of guy who likes to face your opponents, having some extra energy to your front shields is very useful, but always keep in mind the AI will try to crawl at your
Attention
back.
all cargo ship pilots.
And
Remain
when you
in
don't have
position. The cargo docks
full
are
shields in
currently
your back,
overbooked.
you may actually want to transfer energy back there. So it's useful. It gives you an all-around protection on your shields. Trade computer. And that's something which is probably from the mod, because we got a German text here. It shows both illegal goods which systems occupied by pirates after closing down the navigation map. So I'm not 100% sure what it does, but my guess is that the moment you have this one equipped, this device is able to show you which illegal goods are there in systems which are occupied by pirates. And those systems will be encountered in about each and every system cluster, not system, each and every cluster we will enter, except for the first one, because the first cluster is basically the training area. After that we got the same things, but class 2 with something new. A graviton boost is simply a small boost to your ship velocity for 10 seconds. It's kind of like an afterburner. And I think it's also a mod specific item. New jammer, landing computer, trade computer. The ore harvester is class 3 equipment, so I won't be there for a while. But it's nice stuff. I can actually shoot asteroids or
consumption of the last few days has caused
pieces of a
increasing
ship,
prices for research
and every
materials.
once in a while it turns into, well, meteorites turn into crystals, and pieces of ships turn into metals. I can collect those with a drone if I'm not tagging a container or 2 containers, depending on my drone class. So and the rest isn't shown, so I can't compare it yet. But I can select it, I can send a drone out if I got one available without towing 1 or more containers, and take that back to the station and sell it off, or take it to another system, enter the station and sell it off. If, for instance, it happens in this system, the paint car system, I can sell it because it doesn't have any crystals and metals shown here as what I'm going to sell. So those are my
Please note that on the
equipments,
station,
my
the
weapons,
possession
my
or the
energy
consumption
class
of alcohol
stuff.
is a punishable offense.
That's it. I also realize I forgot a few things in my logbook. I had this reputation, I discussed my weapons and equipment, but I forgot this symbol, the ship symbol. And it's my upgrade symbol. What can I upgrade? Well, very simple. The hull, the wings and the engines. And what it does is the hull gives me the ability to start using turrets, while it also increases my hull integrity, which means that gets better, but also my hit points. My first upgrade will always increase my weapon class, and a higher weapon class also means less use of energy, because it drains more, so that's something we need to keep in mind. If I upgrade my wings, however,
Attention. Local weather stations are reporting that
my
intense
agility
sun
won't
protuberances
change
may lead to a
yet.
further shortage of
Over
proteins.
time it will, but I'm able to carry 2 frontal weapons, and over time even more. My hull hit points remain the same, but my weapon class increases as well. So once again, the first upgrade will always increase my weapon class. If last but not least, my engines. If I upgrade my engines, I get better recharge rates, means shields, weapon energy and hyperdrive will increase recharge faster. Which, considering I'm going to be weapon class 2, is an advantage. I will get another equipment slot, also very useful because, as said, some of those spare equipment is very useful, and inertia from cargo is down
Attention
by
all
20%.
cargo ship pilots. Remain
Which
in
means
position. The cargo
with the
docks
container
are
my
currently
ship
overbooked.
will be very sluggish, and this will make it a little bit more maneuverable. But yeah, once again 100 hit points. So what can I do? I can do 1 upgrade at a time, and the story will actually tell me to start upgrading my wings, because it will give me, instead of 1 frontal weapon, 2. That's what I'm going to do. After that I will upgrade my engine, followed by the hull.
Please
Once
note that on
I've
the
done
station, the possession
all
or the
3
consumption of
upgrades,
alcohol is a punishable offense.
my basic way of upgrading will be engines, hull, wings. Because every time I upgrade my engines, I get an improvement on those two, my recharge rate and my cargo inertia. So, and after those first three upgrades, my weapon class will once again improve. So, more on that. With better engines, I will counter the energy drain from getting a higher weapon class. The reason I pick hull over wings is that I got 2 frontal weapons, but as said, with the hull I will get turrets, and I can show that here. As soon as my hull enters level 2, I'm able to equip 1 turret. So I got 2 weapons on my wings. I have level 2 engines, a level 2 hull, and all of a sudden I got 2 weapons, front and a turret somewhere, which is able to automatic lock on targets and fight back, which makes fighting for me a little bit easier. Last is wings, because yeah, I got 2 wings, and when I'm upgrading to level 2, my ship becomes a little bit more agile, but I still got those 2 front weapons. My energy class is improved, and since I got another higher hull and engines, my equipment class will be upgraded too. It's not before I switch to tier 3 wings before I'm actually able to add a 3rd weapon, and by then, yes, I already got a turret too, so I'm actually already using 3 kinds of weapons, but only 2 of them are fixed. That's the basic plan. Then, last but not least, the bottom symbol, it's my plasma weapon. Part of it will be explained later, but in short, I have several options, and every time I have a ship upgrade available, I can select one and it will help me. So first, this is where I'm currently at. Nothing. First I'm getting a weapon boost. After that I already have a choice. Will I go for another weapon boost, or will I start doing a shield boost? And yes, it's once again the choice between going offense or defense. The whole game will be a choice. Will I be picking something that makes me kill faster, or will I be picking something that makes me surviving longer? And sometimes it's better to pick one, and sometimes it's better to pick the other. It depends on the situation. I'll show you over time. So, overloads will attack the shields of other ships attacking me, but not the big ones. Of course not, or the game will be too easy. EMP will actually disable other ships for a moment. Time shock will freeze them. And the last option is plasma shield, which is not only increasing the recharge rate of my shield, but also creating an extra shield around my ship for
Please note that on the
a
station, the
certain
possession or the
time.
consumption of alcohol is a punishable
All of
offense.
them can be picked, and if I'm not mistaken, this mod gives me the opportunity to do a level 30 ship, which means level 10 in hull, wings and engines. Level 10 is the height, and as you can see, with level 10 hull I got 5 turrets, 200% integrity, 870 hull hit points, and energy class, weapon class and equipment class I don't look at
Latest
it
announcement.
because
The negotiations between the large agrarian parties have not yet
those
led
will
to any
increase
wins with
even
regards to the
further.
plant fibers.
Wings, level 10, 6 frontal weapons. So imagine 6 frontal weapons and 5 turrets. This ship was designed as a long-range fighter, but in the end it's not a fighter, it's a single-man battleship. Still, at high difficulties you still may be killed. Been there, done that, didn't get the t-shirt. But 6 frontal weapons, 150% agility, and that means that under current circumstances you basically need half of the Atlantic Ocean to make a turn. At 150% agility you can turn around an area like Greenland. 290 hull points compared to the 870 from the maximum hull, and I think it actually adds up, so that means that I'm over 1000 in hull points. Finally, level 10 engines. Look at this, recharge rates 200%. So they're going from 0 to 100% really fast. Cargo. Am I pulling cargo? Oh, I'm pulling cargo. Yes. 100% minus 100% inertia. So you could try to actually fight combat battles with 5 turrets, 6 frontal weapons, and still having your cargo
Business
containers
indeed.
in tow.
Due to delivery problems,
Just hope
shortages of mining
you don't
products
have any
occurred.
bottle support, because I don't think merchants like it when you sell them one 50-ton container of liquids instead of 50 tons of beverages in glass, but that's not mine. 10 equipment slots, and I don't think I'm even going to use them all, but it's nice. 290 hit points. So add that to the 270 and the other 290, that makes 580 hit points on top of what you already have right now. And the 870, that's 1400, say close to 1500 hit points. It's pretty tough. Like I said, this isn't a long-range fighter, it's a miniature battleship. So, with all of that done, what else do we have? We discussed the equipment, we got trade. I'm not going to trade anything yet, but trade is where I buy stuff and sell stuff. We have goods here,
Attention
carbohydrates,
ground personnel. Incoming
protein,
600-ton cargo
life
vessel.
form, plant fibers, metals, precious metals, crystals which can be harvested from pieces of asteroids or small asteroids, and metals from ship parts, alloys, machinery, electronics and computer components, and those are different. Don't ask me why, but those are different. Ship technology, basically all of this. Medicine, chemicals, spirits, and spirits means alcoholic beverages. Fertilizer, energy cells, fuel rods, isotopes. I don't know how you actually transport isotopes in a container, but they found out how to do that in the future. Superconductor, video games and luxury goods, and those two, as well as the drugs and the android, are the very luxury items. Even the prices are low. It's because some of those are produced here. But yeah, think of it, I'm buying cargo, video games for 95 credits, and I'm able to sell them for close to one.
Attention all cargo
Instance
ship pilots.
195.
Remain in position. The cargo docks are
I
currently
make
overbooked.
100 credits on each computer video game I'm actually selling, so that adds up quickly. Then, before I switch to terminal, we got panorama. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. So what we got at the terminal? 3 symbols and some assignments. First of all, one mission from Norbert, which tells me that behind the
Please
station
note that the sale of androids on this station is illegal.
behind the station are some containers with valuable goods. All 3 or 2 containers must be returned to the station. If I do that, I get only a symbolic reward of 1 credit, but I can sell the goods from the containers, and the money I make
Attention
from
ground
that
personnel. Incoming
is
600-ton
going to
cargo
be
vessel.
put at my bank account. So yep, it's a very nice mission. It basically tells you, hey, this is what you need to do to use. It's a sort of mission how to use container, etc. Also, the other assignment is a mission which was actually in the game, and basically it's the tutorial mission telling me leave the station and follow the instruction. I'm going to do this mission first. However, before doing that, we got something else. We have here a screen with several ships from certain transport companies listed in, well, what is it? Gold? I don't know. Some sort of goldish color. From an unknown systems to Penka. Penka is our system, and one departing shortly from Penka to the unknown system. One is departing. What I can do, click at it, and you get a guy. Click at it, and you get another guy. And with it, when I can actually get myself hired as an escort pilot. Is it a nice job? Well, sometimes it is. It means you jump, escorting a ship, you get information, you jump, and if nothing happens, you get paid for just a trip to another system. If something happens, you have to fight pirates. Since you get bounty for each pirate, yeah, it can be profitable. Last but not least, some news. First of all, a report of a strange ship in the Penka system,
Attention
which
ground
is
personnel. Incoming
indeed
600-ton
the one
cargo
we
vessel.
just saw, our ship. And the other one is telling a farewell to Simon Jarvis, which is the father of our main character. So that's all it. Let's accept the 1 credit mission and leave the station. Here's another cutscene again. We will see this cutscene quite often. I already know part of the basics of the game, so I won't explain anything I'm doing. I'm just going to do right now.
Freighter awaiting unloading.
Because everything I am doing will be explained in a bit. but I'll be short about it.
Where do you want that?
We had to find the container, which we did. Have it docked, and now we're going to
That was the
return
last
to
one.
the station. And you already noticed
I'm on my way.
this ship is getting a little bit more sluggish right now. Of course, I can boost things up,
Why is this taking so long?
but even then. Also, up here we see what we have selected, which is currently the trade station, and its relative position compared to me. So right now, sort of upside down. And I have to figure out what's up and what's...
Attention. Prepare for guiding beam.
more important. I have to figure out
That was the last container.
It's certainly busy here.
You can send the taxis.
I need to figure out where the entrance is.
We'll be right there.
There it is. So let's turn back, and I think next time I will fly around instead. So I'm going to select
Here's the trade
station.
station. How can I be of assistance? Landing permission was granted.
And that's what I meant.
At SB1.
So I'm in. I got 50 tons of something. Video games. So I'm earning 4,000 credits. And that's it. And meanwhile it says return the container to the station, sell off the stuff. After that, get the other container. Okay, let's get the other container. I will once again select it.
Boarding complete.
Doing some pitching and rolling.
Almost ready.
Confirmed. Terran freighter over.
And get the docking done. And this time, as said, I won't go over the station, but simply past the station.
New cargo received.
Terran lead ship to flight control. How long do we still have to wait?
Landing permission was granted.
And we got a message that this mission will be offered again in 60 days according to DarkStar One time. So, one mission completed. Time to select the next one, and we got a lot more. I won't do the 5 camera mission while recording it because it's 12 minutes of all kind of camera positions and it's getting a little bit annoying. I will, however, first of all, we got this mission about recruits that we have to find. Second, we have a mission about a container having information for DarkStar One, or about the DarkStar
Business in
One.
brief.
And
Due
we
to
have
delivery problems,
basic
shortages of
training
mining
mission.
products have occurred.
I don't think I can combine both. I will do this mission first, and after that I switch to the basic mission, but basic mission will be done, basic training will be done in the next recording. Once again, in a container outside the station, behind the station, are the documentation about for the DarkStar One. Leave, game saved of course. Every time I leave or enter a station I get an autosave, which is useful.
Hier ist die Handelsstation. Der Container ist hier hinter der Station abgelegt worden.
And that told me it's the trade station, the container is behind the station. Thank you. We kinda knew that,
Terran freighter over.
but never mind. Mission objective: return a station. Return a container to the station. Now, and while I did this, to the right we saw this bar going up and down. That's my afterburner. Have to take a look, hang on.
Here's the trade station. Landing permission was granted.
To the left is what we see when once I got my plasma cannon. Now I have to open the container with the side mission button. And what does it do? In general, tells a little bit about what's happened. I will try to translate. Like I said, my German is rusty, so it will take some time. I'm not going to use Google Translate or whatever. If I'm making a mistake and some German viewers are here, please feel free to leave a good, proper translation in the comments if I miss something. Anyway, DarkStar One, you take the role of a young fighter pilot called Garen Jarvis, whose father was killed at a secret mission again by the Tool. When Kaner finds out that sabotage of his father's ships has happened, he's decided to fight the one who did it. But soon it turns that the Thule aren't living in isolation anymore. ever more, no, not ever more. Over time it's getting close to a confrontation. Two drones are attacking from hyperspace, and yeah, Überfall. It means it's not only, it's a way of attacking, not really robbery, but similar to installations of all species. So, and Karen becomes stuck between of something that actually starts to become an intergalactic war. But Karen has a secret weapon. The inheritance of his father is a very extraordinary long-range fighter, DarkStar One. Part of an old legend of an antique species. Yeah, it's sometimes difficult to translate. Well, during the adventure he will use his ship and turn it into one of the most mighty, most important, mighty, strongest battleship of the universe. As fighter pilot, he's playing with his life, of course, and most of his life is actually inside the cockpit of his ship. And as a player you will do space combat, flying from one solar system to another, or landing at landing stations where you can find new missions and other kind of actions. You will find a big and very, let's see how to mention it, interesting, exciting world in which you have all kind of freedom to do what you want to do. Become a bounty hunter, a merchant, a pirate, a smuggler, or even a mercenary, a killer. The choice is yours, how you get the money, well, the credits for better equipment and better weapons. Okay, that was a terrible translation, but as said, my German is very rusty. The only thing I can do, well, I could decline, but I will accept. And with that, I will end this part of the recording. Thank you for watching. We will do the rest of the tutorial in the next recording, and I hope to see you there. Have a good day.